Hey everyone, I'm Grace, 15 and living in a posh suburb of Chicago. Right now, I'm in my room, sketching in my favorite armchair by the window, when I hear my dad's car pull up. I jump up, excited to show him my latest piece. Dad, you're home early. Check this out. I call as I rush downstairs, holding up my sketch pad. My dad, Harry, glances over with a half smile. That's nice, sweetie. Listen, I've got a surprise for you, he says, sounding mysterious. My heart skips a beat. Maybe he's finally letting me go to that art camp I've been begging for. But no, something else entirely is about to happen. A tall blonde woman walks in, her smile not quite reaching her eyes. Grace, this is Daisy. We've been seeing each other, and she's going to be staying with us for a while. I force a smile, but inside, I'm freaking out. It's been just me and Dad since Mom passed away 3 years ago. We were a team. Fast forward a few weeks, and Daisy has completely taken over the house, redecorating, rearranging, and worst of all, monopolizing Dad's time. One afternoon, I'm in the kitchen with my best friend, Zoe. I swear, Zoe, it's like I don't even exist anymore. Yesterday, I tried to talk to Dad about my art project, and Daisy interrupted to show him some dumb modeling photos. Zoe rolls her eyes. That sucks, Sar. Have you tried talking to your dad? I nod. Yeah, but he just says I need to give her a chance and make her feel welcome. It's like he's forgotten I live here too. Just then, Daisy strolls into the kitchen, wearing one of Dad's shirts and not much else. Oh, Grace, didn't realize you'd be home so early. Your father and I were just napping, she says with a cringe-worthy tone. This is my friend, Zoe. We're working on a school project. Daisy barely glances at Zoe. That's nice, dear. Oh, by the way, I moved some of your art supplies to the garage. They were cluttering up the living room. Before I can respond, she's gone, leaving me fuming. Zoe gives me a sympathetic squeeze on the arm. Later that night, I try to talk to Dad one more time. I find him in his study, surrounded by paperwork. Hey, Dad, got a minute? I ask, hoping for some kind of connection. He looks up, distracted. Sure, honey. What's up? I was wondering if maybe we could have dinner together tomorrow night, just the two of us, like old times. He hesitates, and I already know what he's going to say. Oh, Grace, I'm sorry. Daisy and I have reservations at that new French place. Maybe another time. I nod, swallowing my disappointment. As I turn to leave, he calls out, Actually, Grace, we need to have a family meeting tomorrow after school. There's something important we need to discuss. A knot forms in my stomach. Something tells me this family meeting isn't going to be good news. The next day, I walk into the living room, my heart racing. Dad and Daisy are seated, looking way too serious for my liking. Grace, honey, sit down. We need to talk, Dad says, his voice tense. I sit, bracing myself. We've decided it's best for you to attend Oak Academy, he says. It's an excellent boarding school upstate. My jaw drops. Boarding school? But why? I don't want to go. It's a wonderful opportunity, Grace, Daisy chimes in, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. You'll get a top-notch education. Suddenly, a memory flashes in my mind. Last week, I overheard them talking in the kitchen. Daisy's voice echoed, Harry, I'm worried about Grace. She's always around. Don't you think she's ruining our romance? Back in the present, I stand up, shaking. This was your idea, wasn't it? I point at Daisy. You want to get rid of me. Grace, that's enough, Dad says sternly. This decision is final. I storm to my room, slamming the door behind me. Grabbing my phone, I call the only person who might help, Aunt Jenna. Aunt Jenna, please, you have to talk to Dad. He's sending me away. Oh, sweetie, she says. I'll try, but you know how stubborn your father can be. The next few days are a blur of pleading, bargaining, and tears, but nothing works. Before I know it, I'm standing in front of Oak Academy, a huge, imposing building that feels more like a prison than a school. This is for the best, Grace, Dad says, not even looking me in the eye. You'll see. Daisy doesn't even bother to get out of the car as they drive away, leaving me feeling more alone than I've ever felt in my life. The first few weeks at Oak are a nightmare. Strict rules, demanding classes, and the constant homesickness. My roommate, Jennifer, is nice enough, but I miss my friends, my room, my art. One day, after getting chewed out by my history teacher for daydreaming, I text Dad. I hate it here. Please let me come home. His response comes hours later, give it time. I stare at my phone, fighting back tears. That's when I overhear a group of girls gossiping nearby. Did you hear about the new girl? Her dad shipped her off so he could shack up with his girlfriend. No way. That's so messed up. Yeah, I heard the girlfriend's barely older than us. My face burns with shame and anger. Is that what everyone thinks? That I've been tossed aside for Dad's midlife crisis? That night, lying in my narrow bed, listening to Jennifer's soft snores, I make a decision. If Dad and Daisy want me gone so badly, fine. I'll show them I don't need them. I'll excel at this school, make my own way, and never rely on them again. Months fly by, and slowly but surely, I start to find my footing at Oak. Don't get me wrong, I still miss home, but I'm determined to make the best of it. One day in the cafeteria, a girl with bright blue hair plops down next to me. You're the new kid, right? I'm Lily. I nod, taking in her rebellious vibe. Grace. Nice to meet you. Don't let this place get you down, Lily says, gesturing around. It's all a game, and once you figure out the rules, you can bend them. Lily introduces me to her friend Tyler, a computer genius with a heart of gold. The three of us become inseparable, and suddenly, Oak doesn't seem so bad. I throw myself into my studies, determined to prove I belong here. My grades soar, especially in art class. Miss Rodriguez, my art teacher, takes me under her wing. Grace, your work is exceptional, she says one day, examining my latest painting. Have you considered entering the National Young Artists Competition? I hesitate. I don't know. It's pretty prestigious. Exactly, Miss Rodriguez smiles. And you have the talent to win it. Meanwhile, things at home are weird. Dad's calls become less frequent, and when we do talk, he seems distracted. Daisy is always in the background, her voice a constant reminder of why I'm here. One afternoon, I'm heading to Miss Rodriguez's class when I overhear two staff members talking. It's the third month Harry Henderson has missed the tuition payment. If this continues, we'll have to discuss Grace's enrollment status. My heart races. Dad is having money problems. That doesn't make sense. His real estate business had always been successful. I confide in Lily and Tyler. Guys, something's not right. Can you help me dig into this? Tyler cracks his knuckles. Leave it to me. If there's dirt to be found, I'll find it. For weeks, we pore over public records and financial reports. Tyler's computer skills are a godsend, helping us navigate the complex world of business finances. Grace, look at this, Tyler says one night, pointing at his laptop screen. These numbers don't add up. There are inconsistencies in your dad's business reports. Lily leans in. Yeah, and look at these purchases. Designer clothes, fancy restaurants, spa treatments. Is your dad suddenly into self-care? I feel sick. That has to be Daisy. She's bleeding him dry. Despite the drama unfolding back home, I channel my emotions into my art. Miss Rodriguez pushes me harder than ever, helping me prepare for the National Young Artists competition. The night before the submission deadline, I put the finishing touches on my piece, a haunting portrait that captures the pain of betrayal and the strength found in independence. Weeks later, Miss Rodriguez bursts into the art room, waving an envelope. Grace, you did it. You won first place in the National Young Artists competition. The room erupts in cheers as my classmates congratulate me. My phone buzzes with a news alert, and I freeze when I see the headline, Unknown Teen Prodigy Wins National Art Competition, Judges Stunned. Spring break finally rolls around, and I head home, my heart a mix of excitement and dread. As the cab pulls up to our house, I know something is off. The lawn is overgrown, and Dad's car looks like it hasn't been washed in months. Inside, the house is a mess. Takeout containers litter the kitchen, and a layer of dust coats everything. Dad emerges from his study, looking haggard and older than I remembered. Grace, I didn't expect you to come home for break. I drop my bag. Surprise. What's going on here, Dad? He runs a hand through his thinning hair. It's nothing, just been busy with work. How's school? I wasn't buying it. Cut the act, Dad. I know about the missed tuition payments. What's really going on? His face falls. It's just a temporary cash flow issue. I've got it under control. That's when Daisy saunters in, dripping in jewelry and designer clothes. Oh, Grace, you're here. How nice. I can't hold back anymore. Nice clothes, Daisy. Must have cost a fortune, considering Dad can't even pay my school fees. Dad's eyes widen. Grace, that's enough. But I was on a roll. I pull out the documents Tyler helped me compile. No, Dad, it's not. Look at this, your accounts are being drained, and it's not just because of business troubles. Dad waves his hand dismissively. You don't understand business, Grace. This is adult stuff. Oh yeah. I shoot back. Then explain these transactions, designer boutiques, spa retreats, jewelry stores. Unless you've developed expensive new hobbies, I'm guessing this is all Daisy. Daisy's face twists into an ugly sneer. You little brat, she hisses, her voice sharp with venom. You have no idea what you're talking about. Don't I? I pull out my phone and show them the banking app. Did you really think I wouldn't notice you added yourself to Dad's accounts? You've been siphoning money for months. Dad's face drains of color. Daisy, is this true? His voice wavers, disbelief etched in every word. Daisy tries to backpedal, her expression shifting from fury to panic, but the evidence is undeniable. The truth unravels, and I can see the weight of realization in Dad's eyes. He seems to age years in just a few moments. I'm so sorry, Grace, he whispers, his voice hoarse. I've been such a fool. Just then, the doorbell rings. 2 police officers stand outside, flanked by Aunt Jenna. One officer steps forward. Harry Henderson, we need to ask you some questions about financial irregularities in your business. Dad's expression shifts from shock to confusion. What? Who reported this? Aunt Jenna steps forward, her gaze steady. I did, Harry. When Grace told me what was going on, I couldn't just stand by and watch everything crumble. As the officers begin questioning Dad, Daisy makes a break for it, grabbing her purse and bolting toward the door. But Aunt Jenna, quicker than expected, sticks out her foot, sending Daisy sprawling to the ground. It was the last desperate move in a saga that had spiraled out of control. The aftermath was a whirlwind. Daisy was arrested for fraud, and Dad faced serious legal consequences for his role in the financial mismanagement. As for me, I made the tough decision to move in with Aunt Jenna, leaving the past behind. 2 years later, I'm thriving at a top art school, my talent finally getting the recognition it deserves. As I stand in front of my latest exhibition, surrounded by people who truly appreciate my work, I can't help but reflect on how far I've come. That scared, betrayed girl from Oaked feels like a lifetime ago. I'm stronger now, wiser, and finally free from the toxic people who tried to hold me back. What would you have done if you were in Gracie's shoes? Would you have forgiven your father for choosing his girlfriend over you and sending you away to boarding school? Or would you have cut ties completely? Share your thoughts in the comments below.